It's 2 p.m. Detroit, and you know what that means. Detroit media icon Ryan Ermanni, University of Michigan great Braylon Edwards, and of course, Maz are about to take over on Woodward Sports. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m., it's the best Detroit sports talk on Detroit's best sports network. Woodward Sports.
What's up? Listen, you guys don't know what was happening here. The magic, I wish that we could, rewind the clock and let people see, 15 seconds ago. That was, all right, so my guy, Anson, I'm Sean Baligian, by the way. We're in for Ermanni and Edwards today. My guy, Anson, was meticulous in setting up all that which you see in front of him. So, Pete Spivak, what was it? Was it about, you gave him about a 1-minute warning. And he started filling the shelves, right? Just waiting for the looters to come in. Well, I better restock, so all the looters come in and just rip me off and everything. And then, with about 10 seconds to go, he goes, I got 10 seconds. Boom, 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 boom. Dude, rapid fire. My man was going. What do you got, Anson? What do you got in front of us? By the way, it's a pleasure to be with you, my friend.
It's an honor anytime I'm on the desk with you. One of the guys that really gave me the courage and confidence to ever step in front of a mic. Shout out you and Diesel and our guy Brandon Tierney back in the day. But before I talk, the BT Express, that's right. Before I talk about these cards, though, I have to give a big shout out to the Shelby Township Police Department. There was a traffic jam on M53. There was a car accident, and he shot down the shoulder and cut right in front of me. So that cost me about 45 minutes today, and thus I had to rush to put together this awesome prize pack for you. Pete, you want to pan down a little bit? Shout out to Marky Mark and his Wahlburgers, Boston born. Yeah, that's going to fall all over the place. I'm going to have to fix this in a second, but that's going to you guys, as well as all of these cards. Super Chat was a little disappointing yesterday, considering we gave out a dual legendary autograph of Iceman and Joe Johnson, two newest members of Detroit Amp, our Big Three team. That's right, we've got a 3-on-3 team now in Ice Cube's league. So I'm expecting you guys to bring it today. Tomorrow it's going to be even bigger, but I have some really cool stuff beyond just cards coming out. So Super Chats, make sure you guilt them. Sean, get them in there. You guys, of course, will read them, and then the cutoff is 350, 355. We'll spin that wheel, and somebody will take home some of this awesome swag.
Jump in, for real. Anson's got your back. Jump in. Can I say this? It's not very often in this business that you get that you get without words. And when I had a chat with Ice Cube was one of those times.
Very cool.
Literally, I had him on the radio show to talk about, the league and everything. And I swear to God, Anson, it was about 15 seconds in it hit me. Because, all right, we're going to be cool. And then you're like, man, I'm talking to Ice Cube.
Today was a good day.
Yeah, right? I messed around, got a triple-double. Maz, what's going? Maz in his favorite chair. He's got 3 of them at home. If you didn't know, he's got 3 of them at home. As a matter of fact, you know what he did? He doesn't have a toilet anymore. He's got that. He cut a bottom out of it.
Yes, sir.
And that's where he does his business all the time. What up, Maz?
Hey, Sean. So happy to have you here. I know I haven't gotten to work with you in a while. And back in the day, man, we had a good thing going.
A lot of fun.
It's fun. Welcome to Woodward Sports. Welcome to the afternoon show.
Yeah. You know what? It's funny coming here, though, this time. There's usually 100 parking spaces. I'm going to be honest with everybody out there. I'm looking at my truck. I don't know if I'm parked legally. So if I get up in the middle of the show and you see me running my ass out of there as quick as my old ass can go, you're going to know why.
We're keeping an eye on it.
I don't know. You guys even told me. You're like, I've never seen anybody park
where he's parked.
We've seen Easy get towed from the front of this building.
Oh, no wow. Kidding, yeah.
Yes. We've seen Braylon run out on numerous occasions. And we've seen Ryan Ermanni get in here exactly at 2 o'clock because he couldn't find a spot to the last second. So we know, man.
It's different, man, because I'm used to coming in, with Neil in the morning, and there's a ton of spots. I drove, I texted you, man. I don't know even if you, I got here, it was 1:45. I go, man, just so you know, I've been driving around for a few minutes. I can't find a freaking spot.
Yeah, this time of day is tough in the Ham. On Tuesdays, though, is the worst. I don't know what it is about Tuesday.
Tuesday
flex
traffic
day.
sucks too.
Well, and it does, but I get here and I get to that parking building, and it's always screaming 0.
Yeah.
Thursday, there's 20 spots. But, that's super frustrating. I've never been a massive fan of Birmingham, but I'll tell you what, this time slot, the parking is brutal.
No, it's awful. All right, let's get into the Scooble stuff right away. I was of the opinion, I don't know if you heard us talking about this on Big D Energy like last month. I think what you do as an agent, the first thing you do is you say, who set the market? Who set the market, okay? And for everybody out there, in case you're not aware of it, Zach Wheeler set the market. 3 years, $126, $42 million per. Okay, that's the market.
And he's earned it.
Right. I'm Scott Boras. I'm going because listen, Maz, you're right. He earned it, and Scuba earned to blow past that if he chose to.
Right.
Okay. So in case you missed it, he told Pardon My Take Pod, 10 years, 425 sounds right. I thought, and I said this on Big D Energy, 8 years, 400.
Okay.
50 mil, 8 years. They are going to go for term. This is not going to be a Zach Wheeler 3-year deal. It just isn't. Boris is going to go for term and number. Period. End of story. Okay? 10 years, 42.5 is less than what I thought. Is it something you think this franchise would be interested in, Anson?
10 years. It seems like they're still railing from how long they signed Miguel Cabrera. So
What'd they give Miggy again? You remember?
I don't remember the number right off the top.
The what number?
it was large.
For Miggy, 10 years, 350,
Miggy, yeah,
something like that.
I got it.
But then when you add in the Javi, deal, I mean, obviously he's playing much better right now, but I think everybody in that franchise and everybody here in Detroit would probably take that one back. They'd take a mulligan on the Javi deal.
10 years, 292.
When you look at
Thank you.
a pitcher like that, obviously we just lost Job to TJ. The health of pitchers is so fickle. To line a guy up for 10 years, it really puts some handcuffs on you. But being a smaller market, being Detroit, I'm not sure, if this guy loves it here. I know that they laughed at the first offer. So maybe that's what it takes, is maybe a decade-long contract to keep him here. And you may have to lock him up here just to make sure that free agents want to continue to explore Detroit as a viable option. If you don't sign him and he leaves or you trade him, it doesn't just hurt your rotation. It hurts the perception of what this franchise is willing to do going forward.
No doubt, man. Hey,
100%.
he's your horse, right? And he's a beast of a man. He's not like the skinny guy. By the way, today is Justin Verlander, his first no-hitter against the Brewers. Remember that day?
I was there.
Today's the anniversary of that.
I was there.
Today's the anniversary of that. So he's your next Verlander. I can't see them letting him walk out the door. Now, they brought up Jackson Jobe, and he's going to be the next guy. And here it is. It's Tommy John surgery. It's early, and I'm happy he's getting it over with, to be perfectly honest with you. We'll get into Jobe in a minute. But I would not let Scooble leave. You have him for another year. Do you let it get past this year, or does Boris just make you take it past this year? Because I know the Tigers want to sign him. It's up to Boris, and, of course, Scooble's following in his footsteps. Whatever the boss tells you to do, he's going to do. I can't see them letting this guy go, especially what they were offering Alex Bregman this past season.
I'm wondering aloud, instead of the 10 years, let's just, for shits and giggles,
Hey,
the Tigers.
sorry, Dina
Fox
Sanafonte.
Oh,
Sorry about that, Fox, too.
Dollar in the bowl.
Is he allowed to chew Kodiak on Fox 2 as well? Is that legit?
I got banned by management here. I'm not allowed to.
Oh, no.
I'm not allowed to do that.
Just
you
remind,
can,
go
huh?
ahead, Sean. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Management yelled.
Sorry,
at me.
Alan Longstreet. We apologize.
Let's say for craps and giggles.
Yeah.
Let's say for craps and giggles, the Tigers said 8 years for 42.5 per instead of 10. Do you think that's something that Boris and Scuba would be interested in?
No.
That's what I worry about.
Yeah.
I'm not being funny.
Right.
Let's say they said we're not doing 10 years. We're doing 8 for 340.
Right. How about
It comes
8?
out to about 8 for 340.
How about 8 with $50 million each year? $50 million.
That was my original thought. 8 for 400.
So
I
let's
agree.
say you're the Dodgers. The Dodgers could probably get him on a 6-year deal. I can't see any other team that they'd be willing to go to, maybe the Yankees, that they'd be willing to go to for anything under less than 7 or 8 years. So I don't know if you have to do the 10, but you got to lock the guy up just for the sake of free agency, for the sake of what this franchise is perceived nationally as. Is this a team that got lucky with some good young players, or is this a legitimate championship franchise for the rest of this decade? And I think that obviously you need him in the rotation to consider yourself that, but it's more than that. It truly is showing players in the league that we mean business here in Detroit.
We still aren't getting the love nationally. I mean, we just aren't.
I think we are.
You really think?
Yeah.
So, all right, Maz, here's my... When I'm watching the various baseball shows
Right.
out there, and we watch the one, it's not Baseball Tonight, whatever
No.
the equivalent is on the MLB
That's what
network.
I watch, MLB Network.
It just seems to me like they're not talking about the Tigers as the real threat that I think they are. And, you know, with a baseball-loving son, I happen to watch a lot of that stuff, and we
Yep.
just kind of laugh at each other and, you know, do the whole, hey, are you guys familiar who's got the best record in baseball? Is anybody aware of that? And Anson, honestly, I think that's part of it. I'm not sure. Perception is reality, okay? I'm not sure the perception is out there amongst players, amongst our fan base, that our ownership is serious about legitimately having a winner. And I couldn't argue with somebody if they said, nah, right now, how could you argue with somebody? I couldn't do it. I could not do it. And so if you're one of those skeptical guys, and listen, with all due respect, I hope you take this in the Maz, you are like the most optimistic human being I know, right? So of course you're going to say the Tigers are going to find a way to get the job done. No shot intended there, my friend.
None
okay?
taken.
But I think for the rest of us, the non-Maz of the world, I'm terrified. I'm not going to lie. I'm and I think about, you know, another one, the Boston Red Sox. Because you know Boston, every couple of years, it looks like Boston's falling off. And then they write a couple checks, and then they win a gosh damn World Series.
Watch Seattle. That's his home.
Seattle's the other one.
Seattle. They could spend some money.
To your point, Anson, if you're the LA Dodgers, do you say, well, listen, we're not going to give you 10. We're not even going to give you 8. But what we are going to do is we're going to give you 50 per.
And 2 championships. I mean,
Don't tell me that isn't terrifying.
It is what it is.
Plug
but
your ears.
I know.
Don't tell me that isn't terrifying.
Well, it certainly
I hate
is.
'em.
And listen, be careful what you wish for, Detroit fans and Detroit owners, because all 3 teams right now are up against it. Lions, all those awesome draft picks that
Yep.
they developed into stars, they're all looking for big deals. Pistons, very close to it. We just extended Cade. We're going to be looking at a bunch of hard decisions on these guys. But the way that the leagues are written now, the way that the rules are, is you can extend your own guys and you can go over the cap with your own guys. Same thing now with the Tigers. Tigers are in a spot where they've got the best pitcher in baseball, and you've got to take the plunge and pay that money. So, you know, I look at these 3 teams, and where do you dig in? Where do you slam your heels into the mud and say, we're not going any further back. This is our time right now. And you have to start signing guys. And you have to start getting into luxury tax. You got to look at Tom Goras and say, hey, you paid $40 million to get rid of Monty. Now let's make all of these payments for these young guys. And to your point on the KD trade, if they were to bring in KD in a trade and he's willing to re-sign, they can do that, but it's going to take him through that second threshold of the salary cap penalty. So the Tigers are in the same deal. They just have the luxury of not having a salary cap, and we're going to find out who the Illiches are in this time and moment, because it looks like the Fords are ready to pony up. Seems like Goras is ready to pony up. I don't think that the Red Wings are quite there. They might be a year away or so. But, hey, Listen,
or 10.
More.
Illich, you have the money. We know you're a top 10 paid owner in the MLB. You've got the team now. You've had the city, you've been carrying the city without following through on your land contracts while you've been letting all the local developers pay the price, break their backs while they're supporting your stadium there. Now it's time for you to meet them, not only with your land contracts and all of your developments that you've been holding off on for 15 years, but it's time to pay your players to keep your stadium full. He needs to get it. They've got to give it to Scooble.
If you hit that nail on top of the head. You know why narratives exist, right? Right or wrong, narratives exist for a reason. You want to change a narrative? Here's your chance.
Hey, just write a damn check,
This
man.
is your moment, baby. You want to, I mean, let's be honest, okay? We hear what people say about Mike, the late Mr. Illich. We hear what people say about Christopher. You want to change that narrative?
Right.
You do exactly what Anson just suggested.
I'm telling you, you're right. Because I'm going to tell you something why you're right, Anson. Because Chris Illich has yet to really prove that the heart and soul that is into it. Mike's heart and soul was into it because Mike Illich said many, many times over that he wanted a baseball championship, a World Series more than anything. He was happy and satisfied and so proud of his Red Wings, but it was that World Series that he wanted. And I understand Chris is not his dad, and I get it, but you're right, Anson. It's time for Chris to prove to not only to the baseball world, to his organization, but the fans of his team. It is time for him to prove that he is willing to invest in the future for that 10 years, possibly 12, 15, whatever it takes. Obviously, a nice 8-year deal would be great, Sean, but I'm telling you, Chris Illich needs to kind of pony this up, and you're right, Anson. Now the spotlight is on him. What kind of owner is Chris Illich?
100%. 100%. And honestly, you see Gores make that big payment to get rid of Monty. You see what the Lions have done the last couple of seasons with Goff and with Kirby. To me, it's just wild, though, because are the roles not reversed in this situation? Isn't it the dad that's tight, that won't spend, and then it's the kid that didn't make it? Hey, let's throw it around. So something's got to give, man, and Illich needs to harken back to a little bit of his father's optimism and just commitment to bringing a championship.
You remember, and it's kind of funny, Anson, you're old enough. Mr. Illich is a guy that changed the narrative, too. Because if you remember, he was spending with the Red Wings, not so much with the Tigers. And there's some speculation. I don't know this to be true. This is going way back. Maz, you'll probably remember this. Mike Moore. They signed Mike Moore to, at the time, what was a big contract in MLB. It was a pure unmitigated disaster. And Mr. Illich went like this and backed away from the table. And it was a few years before he came back to the table. And he put his bib on, and he got his silverware ready, and it was Juan Gonzalez.
Right.
And we all know how that worked out. And then we had to wait. We had to wait a few years past that, and when he went over the top for Pudge.
Yep.
And then it was the little ones like getting the mayor, the real mayor, Guillen, and bringing Maglio in
Fernando
here.
Vina.
But yeah, exactly. People forget that he kind of got gun shy because he got burned a couple times.
Right.
And then, of course, later it was just like, whatever. I'm going to wake up this morning. I think I'm going to have some Eggs Benedict, and maybe I'll get a side of Prince Fielder. Dave, why don't you go get Prince
That's where I
Fielder
was gonna
for
go
us,
next,
right?
man.
What, Victor Martinez? Yeah, you know what? He's going to eat in this park. So, Dave, give him whatever the hell he wants. So, listen, I'm not saying, to your point, Anson, I'm not saying go out there and be one of the highest spending teams in the majors. I think that's inconceivable. You're not going to compete with some of the money being spent out there. But how about in the top 10 range?
We shouldn't
Can
be in
we
the
go
bottom
there?
half.
Right.
That's for damn sure.
Amen.
And being a Detroiter, a patriotic Detroiter who loves all the sports teams here, when you look at the rich history behind the Tigers and you look at who our owner is, you hit the nail on the head, man. Top 10. You own top 10 money in the MLB. There's no reason that a franchise that's been around for over 100 years isn't paid to be exactly that.
$5 hot and ready's a $7.50 now, by the way.
Yeah.
Since they got in bed with the NFL, they've had to up their prices. I understand it. Still a pretty good deal. But,
Is it?
well,
Right.
yeah, it is.
Is
For
it?
cardboard with some pepperoni.
It's better
It's
than
hot and ready.
it's better than that.
$5
You
holiday.
nailed it. That's it. It's hot and ready.
That's
There's,
it.
ready.
there's
right.
the value.
Hey, look.
Thank you, Rick.
Ricky, you're right. That's the value.
That's the value.
I might grab one tonight. I'm in the mood for one.
Sean, I
Might
used to
get a
hot
stuffed crust
now.
pretzel.
Eat it
Called
on the
cold and
toilet.
later.
Yeah.
Cold and later.
Right.
It was
That's-
hot now. Never say anything about being good.
You know what's huge, though? It's almost like I think management has to be reminded of weekends like this upcoming weekend, okay? I tried to get tickets for this weekend from
Reds.
a guy I know.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that. A guy I know. And the guy I know told me there are no tickets to be had this
The
weekend.
Reds.
Right.
They're on a 6-game win
Reds.
streak. They're on a 6-game win
I
streak.
guess there's some concert tomorrow or something. You know me, I'm unhip, but there's some concert there tomorrow. And like people are going nuts. And so like the guy I know, his initials might be JB,
Yeah.
literally told me, Dad, I mean, guy I know, I can't get tickets this weekend. Like, sorry, they told us there are no tickets. And do you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of 06. I remember vividly
Yep.
sitting in the crowd, like one series, it was against Houston, and you're looking around and you're like, where the bleep did all these people come from? It was like a Wednesday
Yeah.
night,
Yeah.
a Wednesday night at Comerica Park, where normally I would see Maz like way over a half mile away. My God, Maz, what's up? And we'd meet and have a beer. And it's like all of a sudden people go, hey, wait a second. If we have a competitive team full of likable cats,
Yeah.
people are going to come here. And it's not just the weekend crowd. People are going to come for the weekday games and everything. So, I hope, Anson, to your overall point, I hope the showing last weekend and this weekend kind of reminds this franchise, hey, wait, we can make more money. And if we have to, we can throw an extra 75 cents on a beer because the degenerates are going to buy them. They're going to complain it, and then they're going to buy them. And I hope it's a subtle reminder to what fans in this town do.
Well, and I think that's an important point that you bring up. We talked yesterday just about how, maybe it was Tuesday or whenever, but we talked about, I was kind of surprised to find out that all these games were sold out so early on in the season. And I think last year, if you're the ownership, the GM, you're looking at a lot of empty seats throughout most of the year. When they went on that run, it was not until the end of that run that you saw fans filling that stadium. Without that run, it's probably July before Detroiters catch on to what this team is doing right now. So I think the fact that early on in this season, you're filling seats, you're selling beers, hot dogs are flying. Pause. At that point, the checks and balances, your accountants say, hey, we look pretty damn good. And if we can keep this up, we can start paying those without Chris not being able to sleep at night. Because as we've mentioned, he is not his father. But I do think that they've greased the gears, and you guys are the ones responsible for that. So hats off to the Detroiters that have been going out to the games, have been buying and wearing their jerseys, that are getting their beers and their peanuts. So realistically, this team is probably in the plus side heavily right now in terms of finances that should help them be buyers and should help them put out a better contract offer to Scuba at this point.
I love what you said there, too, because, listen, and I say this with respect. If you're watching this show right now, you're a nerd. Okay? You are. You're a nerd. And I say that with respect. You are a huge sports fan. If you're taking part of a beautiful day to spend time with us, you're a huge sports fan, you're a nerd. And this is where nerd is a good thing, okay? Anson, I vividly recall the end of the 23 season, okay? You had so many other things going on, right? Maz, you had the Lions with what looked to be their most promising year in years.
Right.
You had Michigan football, man, you knew they were good. You didn't know how good they would be. I don't think the average fan realized in the last month and a half of the 2023 baseball season, the Detroit Tigers had the best pitcher in the game. The average fan didn't understand that. You guys did. You guys, again, if you're taking time to watch this, you guys did. And I don't think, to your point about the average fan catching on, I don't think people realize that because there were too many other bells and whistles going on. August of 23, looking ahead to the Lions and the eventuality of going to the NFC Championship game. the Michigan Wolverines winning the national champion. People were fired up for that. They kind of checked out on the Tigers, the average fan. And it was funny because I remember telling people, hey guys, we have the best pitcher in the game. Huh? No, really, this Tarek Skubal guy, he's on some kind of roll, and you know what? He never got off that roll. He's still on that roll. So I think we're past that point now. You know what I can tell? When you see the groups of early 20-something morons out in the outfield, drinking at will, paying no attention to the game, you know we're back.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what,
We've
the last
arrived.
time I was at Comerica Park, they were everywhere.
I took my kid there for her 21st birthday on May 10th, playing the Rangers. And we're up in the Comerica Landing, where, K-Line's corner.
Yeah.
At the bar.
Underrated spot, by the way.
It's like going to a club.
Yeah.
And my kids were having the time of their lives. And it is such a great place. And you know what, man? Look, as a Tiger Stadium guy, I love Comerica Park. I do. And I've been to quite a number of parks. And I'm not going to compare it to San Francisco's Oracle Park or PNC in Pittsburgh. They got, great landing spots. They're on the water. For where this stadium is, the only thing they made a mistake with was the scoreboard should have been moved over to cover the DAC garage, but I'm sure they had an inside job on that one. I love Comerica. It's great. You can walk around the entire park and still see the action. The Yankee Stadium, you can only walk halfway. Then you got to go up a ladder, down another ladder, and across. They ruined that place. This
agree
is
more.
a place to be. Yeah. And to go to a ball game on a Friday night, a Saturday night,
Sunday after
or a
church.
Sunday afternoon, which is Father's Day this Sunday. I know no one gives a damn about Father's
Dad's
Day.
Day.
It's Dad's Day.
Happy Father's Day, man.
Thank you, Ricky. Back at you. Sean, back at you as well.
Right back, you guys.
But there's no better place that I want to be at than Comerica Park. And to watch a team like this gel, I'm so geeked, man.
Maz, let me ask you this. If the Tigers didn't make it to the playoffs and then
Yeah.
subsequently win a
This
series.
year, you mean?
In this last
Yeah.
series, the last year.
Okay.
If they didn't make that, if they didn't get the city excited, if they didn't win that first round matchup, at what point are they selling out games, playing out the way that they are right now? Because I don't think that would have happened a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
It might be after 4th of July.
They're selling out the weekend games. The Cubs are a great team.
But I'm
Chicago
saying
travels.
if they don't make those playoffs last year,
Right.
I think that Detroit's not going to games until after the 4th.
You might be right, but they'd be missing out. And
Oh,
the
yeah.
weather helps.
It was late June in 06.
Yeah.
So you're right in that area. I mean, we had season tickets back then. It was like I said, it was I'll never forget, it was a Wednesday night against Houston. Perhaps part of it was Roger Clemens was on the mound. I mean, in
Roger
fairness.
Clemens!
But it was one of those things. I remember my kid and I looking around going, holy crap.
The hell all these people come
And
from?
then you know what? The rest of the year it didn't stop. I mean, it was every night. It didn't matter. I mean,
Fun team.
That park was packed every single night. So I'm not going to argue too much with you there. Last night they got smacked. I don't care. Really,
Don't
I
matter.
don't.
You can't win them all.
No, I that's the one thing I promised myself a few weeks ago, guys. That's longer than that. I'm just not going to get wrapped up in the day-to-day with this team.
There's not a whole
I'm
lot
not.
of teams that can find out about TJ in the first inning and survive that emotional blow that day. So I would not
So-
be surprised to see them come out and rebound tonight
Go beat
and
the hell
win
out of the
one.
Orioles tonight.
Win one for the Jober.
Yes, we'll get into that as well. I want to get his basketball elite. I want to get his thoughts certainly on the NBA final. I think somebody forgot to tell the Pacers they have no chance,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
I think somebody. Maybe
That's
they
incorrect.
I think last night somebody forgot to tell OKC that they're good.
That's incorrect.
They,
love
and
you
they were
predicted
carrying mops around the court yesterday. They looked like a bunch of janitors trying to hoop, man.
All right, where are we going?
We're going over here. This guy in the chair.
Dr. Pierce, guys. That's right. Make sure you tell him that I sent you there because I'm a patient. I go there twice a week for my elbows, and it's helping. I'm back on the ball, guys. Do not miss our expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. He check him out every Tuesday on Big D Energy. Joins us on Thursdays. Yesterday was a special day. He brought in George Gervin and Joe Johnson, so we had him yesterday. Thanks to Doc for that, as he's the doctor of the Detroit Amp as well. Trust the guy that DMAC trusts. It's Dr. Jeff Pierce. For more info, go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com or call 248-426-9944.
Are you a real Detroit sports fan? Woodward Sports is here to give you all the Detroit sports you can handle. Weekdays, make sure you're locked in on Wake Up Woodward from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Followed by Big D Energy with Neil Rule and Darren McCarty from 11 a.m. to 1. Up next, you can't miss Ermanni and Edwards with Maz from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And finish the day out with the bad boys of Detroit sports media, the Woodward Heavyweights, from 5 to 7 p.m. Okay, wait, that isn't enough for you, you sports freak. Check out Woodward Wings, Woodward Ringside, and the Lions Weekly Update every Sunday with Broder, Terry Foster, and John Baligian. Subscribe on YouTube for all our great content, and make sure you're following on all social media: X, IG, Facebook, and TikTok. You want sports? We got you covered. Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasta salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
The boys of summer are ready to get back to the playoffs, and there's no better place to get your Tigers coverage than Woodward Sports. Join us all season long as we follow as our hometown Tigers claw and fight. This ball is gone. The boys are back in town. Feel the roar with Woodward Sports.
Relaxed I am. Looking to upgrade your relaxation game? Check out Massage Chair House in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. Hey, they're not too far from us. Long Lake and Woodward. It's the largest massage chair showroom in the Midwest. Check it out. Dr. Eric Duncan, the Wellness Doc. He's the creator of the top YouTube massage chair review channel. Visit him right now, massagechairhouse.com, or click that QR code, guys. Massage Chair House, your ticket to ultimate recovery and relaxation.
I wish I was as relaxed as Maz, but you can get relaxed, especially if you're a Tiger fan. Join us for the White Claw Tiger Tour. Woodward Sports, of course, hitting 4 hot bars all over town. Join Spenny and Easy tomorrow night, the second stop. How about Nemo's? Legendary burgers.
Great burgers.
Get there before they're sold out, though, because they make X amount. And if you are out of luck, well, then you are out of luck. And I didn't swear there either. Be part of the fun and see our reactions live on Woodward Sports Network to one of the hottest teams in baseball. It's the White Claw Tiger Tour, brought to you by White Claw and Ben Johnson Law. Rolling on here in Ermanni and Edwards. He's Anson. I'm Sean. All right, you guys.
Yes.
See, I don't keep the chat in front of me.
I got it.
Can I tell you why I don't keep the chat in front of me? Because I am the guy. Oh, look, a bird. If I started looking at the chat, my mind is elsewhere, dude. Well, I'm just telling you right now, okay? And that's why I don't like monitors up, like in the studio, especially if there's like a day game going on.
Okay.
Because it's like, Sean, Shut. Huh? Oh yeah. Hey, what's up? Everybody's going nuts in the chat over Spaceballs 2. I had no idea it was coming.
Yes, it was announced today that Spaceballs 2, and it was confirmed by Mel Brooks, is coming in 2027. 40 years later, bring back the Mogs, bring back
Comb the desert.
A-holes. We are going to comb the desert, baby.
Let's
get let's get all the Druish princesses that we can find and get them all out. Yes,
So,
apparently Spaceballs 2, 2027.
I got some questions. Is Lord Helmet being played by Rick Moranis?
That he is in the photo. I
better
have no
be.
confirmation, but
Is he? No kidding.
If he's not Lord Helmet, I'm not watching it.
I hear you. And he's been retired from acting for how long? And I'm serious about that. He retired from acting.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He just. Yeah. He walked away.
What's the director's name? He did
Mel
all
Mel
those-
Brooks.
Mel Brooks. Is he
He
alive?
confirmed it.
Is Mel Brooks still alive?
Yeah.
Did you ever see Defending Your Life?
Yes. That's a good
Oh
film.
my goodness. I swear, like, I to this day think I'm gonna have to sit in a review and go over my life when I pass and be like, "What the hell were you thinking there, Anson?"
Defending Your Life is a great
I wasn't.
movie.
I was drunk, guy.
Right.
Such a
I'm
good movie,
so
man.
screwed.
Defending Your
You know
Life is
what's
a great
funny
movie.
though? That sounds like a disaster.
You think so?
Yeah, I'm all in. I'm just done. Right? I mean, just like
fooled me there, my friend.
Happy Gilmore 2. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know it's going to be bad. Let's just
we're
be
all
honest.
in.
I'm all in.
But we're all in.
I'm
Yeah.
all. Whenever you do things like that, when you revisit something, I mean, can you think of anything that was good when you revisit it 30, 40 years later?
Rocky.
Tom Cruise was the only one.
Rocky.
Tom Cruise was the only, like the Maverick. That I loved it.
Right.
I
There was
really
one.
did.
That was a
there
good
was
one.
one. The Coming to America remake, the second one.
That
Eddie
actually
Murphy
was
did.
pretty good,
That
too.
was
Was
funny.
it really?
Yeah.
No
It actually
kidding.
was. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
I
Watch
see.
See,
it.
I can't count Rocky because there were so many other Rockies between.
I guess I meant Creed.
yeah,
the first
okay,
Creed.
Yeah, you
The
could-
first
yeah,
Creed.
you could
Creed
do
was
that.
special.
First Creed.
I was
Yeah,
impressed.
you could do.
Yeah.
But when you come back like 40 years later or 30 years later, whatever, it's usually a crap show, right? It is.
There's a bird.
Okay, I was just looking at when you pointed that way. I was like, are they towing my truck now?
Bird, nice James.
You know, while we're talking about the chat, guys really let me down yesterday. Had that amazing prize package. I had another one I was going to give today, but I was so afraid that you guys weren't going to do it. I may or may not have given it to Stick to hold on to do it another day. Now, tomorrow I have another auto from Gervin and Joe Johnson. I've got a hat from Wahlburgers, a shirt from Wahlburgers, but today it's just the Wahlburgers shirt, just that lineup of cards that my man MVP just showed you. We've only got actually we have one super chat in. Shout out Michael Wary, always gets us started. He wants that Cade bobblehead. That one's not being given away quite yet. We need to get the super chat back going. I don't know where Dante's been.
Dante's
or our
in the
boy,
chat.
Our Mike's been at. But actually, well, we got Michael DeVries here who did send five Woodward Sports gift memberships out to the chat. Shout out
Appreciate you.
But listen, guys, let's see it. Let's see some super chats. We'll read it. Let us know what you have to say about Scooble. Are you going to watch Spaceballs 2? What do you want to talk about, guys? Come on,
so
hit us up.
I'm so in. Like I'm not even. It's just Happy Gilmore is like a little over a month away.
Right.
I know it's going to be off.
Oh, there
You
is a
guys-
second one coming
Oh yeah,
out?
yeah.
You didn't know
July
that?
25th.
Yeah.
Not that I'm.
Is Bob Barker being AI'd in?
That would be.
That would be,
outstanding.
That would be solid.
Just beat the piss out of him one more time.
One more time.
hope so.
I saw a clip of him and Eminem, like Eminem and Happy going nose to nose.
Oh, really?
And so like it's just now I'm totally. It's going to be garbage, and I'm in. I'm telling you right now.
I only wanted to watch it when I saw Bad Bunny was his caddy. I said, "Oh yeah,
Right.
I'm watching it. I
Right.
gotta see this."
Yeah,
That sounds so bad. It has to be good.
So they bring Action Jackson back for that one,
Oh my
Carl
God.
Weathers.
Action Jackson.
Man, I love that movie.
That movie.
Very,
I love that movie.
very underrated movie.
Oh yeah.
Very
It took place-
And
underrated.
then what was the singer that was in that?
Oh,
She was so
Vanity.
fine.
Vanity.
Man, look at you.
It wasn't it in Detroit. It was in Detroit,
did you
right?
did you see Action Jackson
I
with
did.
Carl Weathers?
I did.
Oh, you know
You
he
didn't like
did.
it?
It was okay.
I
love, he's
No,
Apollo
you
Creed to
weren't
me.
living in Detroit yet. That's why you didn't love
He's
it.
That's why you
Apollo
didn't like
Creed
it.
to me.
Okay.
I have
So
a
he's
hard
a
time.
bad guy.
God bless him, by the way. We miss him.
Shout
Apollo
out Michael
Creed.
DeVries getting it going again. He says he'll be number 2. And then Michael Wary pays Scoobs $400 million, 10 years. Where he is all in.
That's not enough.
It ain't enough.
I'm convinced that's not enough.
That's not enough.
Like Mike. Honestly, I don't think even with term, I don't think 40. I think 8 years. I'm going to stick with that. I think 8 years, $40 million would get it.
So
400
to me,
million.
I don't mind spending the money. It's the years.
You mean
time.
$400 million?
Yeah, $400 million. Yep.
50 a year.
Yep.
Do you think the Jackson Jobe injury, which we'll talk about here, will help Scooble's money? Because he's supposed to be the next Scooble, right?
I wouldn't worry too much about. You know why, Maz? Like, it's almost like, remember when we were younger? Like, guys, I'm telling you right now, you blew out your ACL. That was it.
Yep.
Right.
Thanks for playing.
You're done.
What the most underrated Detroit Lion of all time, okay? And I will say this to my dying breath, okay? Billy Sims.
Oh, God, yeah.
The most underrated Detroit Lion. Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
Number
Don't
20.
get me started on Eric Hipple, though.
All right. By the way, look at that pizza.
I know.
Would you just, I just want you to look at it.
Legendary
That thing is
deep
just-
dish. You know what? I'm putting a pin in this. I'm putting the pin in this Scooble Talk
No
because
pin.
it's quite clear that the chat wants to talk about movie revisits. I want to throw one out there. I'm going to save this one. First one, they should redo Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh,
Not
my
sure who it
goodness
should be.
sakes.
It was just
I'm
the
not sure who it
anniversary the
should
other
be.
day.
What's that?
It was just Ferris Bueller's actual day off just a few days ago.
Oh,
And
that's
they
right.
should give a new Ferris, maybe Ferris Jr. Who knows? The other one, Bueller, Fry. How about an over-the-top revisit? You guys knew what I was doing there.
Yes. Remember, he had a son. He had that whining.
Yes,
that
that's what I'm talking
whining,
about, baby.
crying little
Pete's all
brat
over
of
it,
a
man.
son
When I
should
put
have
my
grown
hat
up.
backwards,
Yes,
see, it
the
gets me
switch.
ready. I mean,
switch.
It's like I flip a switch.
can I? All right, I'll play Step Brothers. If they did a Step
Oh, my
Brothers,
Oh,
too,
my daughters would love that.
honest to goodness,
Step
there
Brothers.
is no movie that makes me cry like that movie.
There is a movie that just came out that is not quite as good, but is right in the same vein. It's called Friendship.
Really?
And it has Paul Rudd in it. My buddy, shout out DPO, who's an authority on TV shows and movies. Anything he tells me I got to watch, I watch it. He said it's maybe not quite as good, but it's right there and very, very similar. Friendship.
Step Brothers is one of those movies. I swear to God, my kid and I watched it just a couple weeks ago, and I hear a new line every time I've watched it. And I've probably seen it. I'm not joking. I've probably seen it 30 times.
He has 6 sets of bunk beds in his house now.
But there's always like one little line that like I've watched this. I've never heard that movie. Let the dirt float on you. Just dumb little lines that like are said in the middle of a scene.
You wanna hit me right now, right? You wanna punch me, don't you, Brendan?
I love it. I would love to see that. If they did that, you know, gosh, enough time has passed, right? That was 2008.
Ooh, Breakfast Club would be interesting.
That is a good one, too.
I love that.
Guys, I got one that's off the board. Now, it's a Detroit-based movie. At least it starts that way. It's kind of like Eddie Murphy in Beverly Hills Cop, but Running Scared. Billy Crystal and Gregory Hines.
that's funny.
If they would do a deuce on that one, pause. If they would do number 2 on that, I would take Running Scared 2 all day long.
A new Eminem, you know, a
new 8 Mile?
a redo of 8 Mile.
9 Mile?
We call it 15 Mile.
9 Mile.
He made it. He built a big old mansion up on 15 Mile, and
I wrote a screenplay. It's called 28 Mile.
yeah, right.
Where I grew up, it was the farm boys north of it, and it was the Eisenhower wannabes south of it, and it was during the same era. Very different subject matter, but the same parallels. I am very curious with Maz, though, because I know Maz's deep encyclopedia of movie knowledge. You've got at least 3 movies you want to revisit.
Well, they've all been revisited, the ones that I loved, and they didn't do a very good job of it. I'm a big Roadhouse guy. They ruined the second one was awful. I love Point Break. The next one was awful.
It wasn't awful.
It was
just
awful.
wasn't nowhere near as good.
Right. Those 2 are like my go-tos. Fletch, another bad
Fletch
bad
Lips
remake.
was so bad.
Another bad.
Who would you play
that
if
was
they
so
if they
bad.
redid Fletch? Who would play Fletch for you?
Instead of Chevy Chase?
Yeah.
They did a Fletch 2, but it was horrible.
Fletch
What
lives.
about
Fletch lives.
Ryan Reynolds?
Terrible.
Horrible.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that.
Mike G killing it in
He
the
is
chat
he's
right
killing
now.
it.
How about Alyssa Milano as Commando 2?
That's right.
Yes!
She was the daughter.
I love that one.
Ricky, what did you have, Ricky?
Revisit White Chicks. I think White Chicks is one.
Oh, that'd be funny.
And Maz, I got one you would hate that I hated when they redid Space Jam. Space Jam has a special part in my heart.
Horrible.
And when they redid it, man, it killed me. I didn't even turn it on. We'll never watch it.
Bad News Bears was my fave. I hated all the remakes.
Oh.
I mean, the Billy Bob Thornton one was awful.
And they killed Willy Wonka.
I mean, come on,
Oh,
man.
yeah, Willy Wonka
Willy
was tough.
Wonka was killed.
Twice. They've done another one. That's
Twice.
trash.
That's right. After they decided that one bad sequel wasn't enough, they said, "Oh, hey, let's make a second bad sequel
Double
and lose
homicide.
even more money."
Double homicide.
But
Idiots.
the overall point remains, though. You know you're going to see these. You don't have a choice. You really. I know. Listen,
Because of the
Spaceballs
storyline.
2 is going to be awful. It is. Okay.
No, stop
I
it,
don't know.
Sean.
Yes, it is.
You stop it
I'm
right
going
now.
to see it.
course
You
you are.
won.
I
You-
kind of
you
want to
already
go. I
defeated
want to
me.
go with you, and I want the review immediately after.
All right.
Freddie Felt reminded me that Fletch was remade with John Hamm.
It was.
I missed that one.
Really, I
You-
missed
you
that
don't
too.
wanna-
And I love John Hamm, but
He's
I don't
just
think I'd
not
watch
goofy
that.
enough.
Right.
Yeah,
Now I'll tell you, their friends and our friends and neighbors.
yeah, that's a good one.
It is a very good.
Will
one.
they have a second season? Probably, right?
Just to remind all the chat, I live south of 8 Mile. I live in the Garden Homes mini district, sub-district of Bagley. All right, I would never live in fabulous Ferndale. Now, shout out to one of our favorites in the chat, middle-aged sneaker chick. You
Yes.
have an awesome graded 2015 Grant Hill on its way to you, but she chimed in the super chat. Billy Sims was my introduction to the Lions. My dad called him Silly Bims. Now, little known fact about me, in my front yard, me and my brother played Billy Sims against Tony Dorsett.
That was the two in our neighborhood too. It's so funny you say that. Those were the two. And you know what it was for so many of us, and I think that middle-aged sneaker girl could agree with this. He was our first star. He was our
Oh, yeah.
Al Bubba Baker was good.
Okay.
Doug English was good. But it's a whole defensive lineman thing,
Yeah.
right? He was our star. And the halftime highlights. Howard, look at Billy
Billy
Sims.
go.
And wait a second. He's talking about a lion. You were going to.
Lions?
They didn't talk about the Lions. Nobody was pimping the Lions.
Didn't Sims
So-
go for 200 on his first game against the Rams?
Oh, it was
Yeah,
insane.
that was crazy.
Back on the baseball field, remember?
yeah, of course.
That's right.
And
On the
we
baseball
drafted,
field.
4 Heisman Trophy winners in a decade? Mr. Chuck Long, name of my very first fantasy team. Billy Sims. Actually,
Ware.
5.
Andre
Pete,
Ware.
Andre Ware,
Andre
and
Ware.
Mr. Barry Sanders.
That's right. Andre Ware and Pete.
How did those Heisman Trophy winners work out for the Lions?
And then we picked up another one in Ty Detmer, remember?
Oh my
yes.
How about
goodness.
Gino Torretta?
And he got a
Torretta,
world.
Gino
he
Torretta.
got
So
a
a lot of
title.
guys, a lot of people in the chat would love to see Wedding Crashers 2.
Oh, goodness
I'd be very
sakes.
happy to see that.
Oh, you know it'd be a shit show.
Now, Rick, there's
You
one
know
we've
it
been
would
hearing
be.
about for like a
Dollar
decade
the ball.
plus,
What's up?
and it's
Hey, another
last Friday.
No, I'm good.
No, but man, last Friday they're bringing Chris Tucker back for it.
They're bringing another.
Yeah,
They're
and
doing,
he's
would
going to
say-
swear.
they're doing another Friday.
Are they
Well,
really?
it's been on the books for like a decade.
Oh,
it's
if
supposed
Chris
to happen.
Tucker's
I would
back,
say-
though.
And
Chris
now, so
Tucker
if you guys don't know
has
this,
to be in
Chris Tucker was a born-again Christian, and that's why he stopped swearing. But he has been given
Which I think
permission
they
by
should've-
Christ to swear in last Friday.
Which I think they should have just added into the movie. And I will say next Friday is my favorite sequel of all time. I was actually at the Kendrick Lamar concert the other day, making fun of security. I'm walking down the steps. I'm like, I talk to my wife like, yeah, that's top flight security of the world. The dude next to me like, not just the city, Craig, the world. On cue. It was great.
Were
Hey,
you wearing
Superman's
wearing your
coming out in a couple
Versace?
weeks.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't wearing an Ice
Another
Cube shirt.
Superman.
I'll be there for that.
I'm so
Are you Supermaned out?
I'm like the whole Marvel DC
Yeah.
out. You know, as a parent,
Yeah.
I've had to throw so much money at those movies for now. Gosh, what Iron Man came out in 2008. I mean, it has been 17 years of seeing every one of those gosh darn movies. I told the kids, I said, I'll check out. Here, I'll give you $20.
You don't enjoy him at all anymore?
Not anymore. I'm just like they beat it into the ground for me.
Dark Knight was the last one.
No,
man.
the whole Marvel DC. He's
oh,
talking
yeah, I
about the
gotcha.
new Superman.
You
Bond,
just
never,
wait
never.
until the X-Men series and Secret Wars comes out. You will be back in. I promise you that.
I love the James Bond movies. I don't care if that makes me sound 95 years old.
they're
I
great.
love the James Bond movies. Love them.
Did you like Roger Moore or did you like The Man?
Oh, Sean was
Sean
great.
Connery, baby.
Sean was.
Come on. His first
Yeah,
name.
it's
What do you
not-
think,
you know,
man?
Come on,
Sean
But
Connery.
It's even
you know
spelled
what?
correctly.
Roger Moore was
Connery.
okay. The
was
last one
very
he
good.
did, the last one that he did where he was like 60 years old
Right.
was awful. It was A View to a Kill.
Yeah, A View to a
Because
Kill.
there were multiple
Great
times.
song.
I was
Grace
like,
Jones, right?
yeah, that man
Grace
is going to
Jones.
fall and break his hip and he's going to die on
Yes.
screen. That like it was, you know, and he made that old man grunt and it's like, no, that's not James Bond. No,
Days Confused. Were you a watcher?
tremendous.
Okay, so I've dropped this before. The same guy that made that, maybe 15 years later, he
Linkletter.
made a movie. What's it?
Linkletter.
Linkletter made a movie called Everybody Wants Some, about a kid that starts off at college in Texas, same setting as Days of Confused, in the early 80s, and he plays baseball for the team. So they all live in this baseball player house. Very, very good. Now, I do got to acknowledge Freddie Felt. Shout out for 3 reasons. 1, you have not mentioned OKC Indy yet. I appreciate that. 2, all of the awesome stuff you brought in on Tuesday.
Yes.
I got switched, so I wasn't here to greet you, but we did start giving some of that out. In fact, during the break, I'm going to go and grab another item just to entice the Super Chat to drop a little more in here. And then he let us know, Rick, last Friday is currently in production. Yes.
Nice.
Been waiting on that one.
And then I want to shout out Great 8 Beard. I don't know my glasses. Natural Born Killers 2 would be a good.
That was crazy.
That was a crazy movie.
That
but
was crazy.
But I understand what Great 8's saying. They can make like a whole new story. You can
Yeah.
do like Natural Born of like all these like different characters. So that's actually. There you go.
That was wow. That was one of those. I took this girl to go see that movie, and she was furious at me.
Oh.
And she still married me anyway, right? And we're married, 29 years later.
Which movie?
But Natural Born
Oh,
Killers.
okay.
Natural Born
Like I
Killers.
took her, and it was funny. It was like 10
Was that
minutes
Woody
into that
Harrelson?
movie. What's that?
Yes,
Is that Woody Harrelson?
Yeah.
Yes,
and
it
we're
is.
like 10 minutes into that movie, and she's like, "I'm leaving."
Yeah, I'm leaving.
And I'm like, "What are you talking about? You're leaving? I don't want to watch this." And I'm like, "Seriously?"
You just wanted her to be all up on you.
Yeah,
Right.
that's exactly. Well, let's be honest. That and the other way, the I Am Legend movie. Like literally, we're like 10 minutes into that movie, and she
yeah.
didn't even say anything. She just walked out.
He just walked out.
She just walked out.
That's a hard subject matter. Great movie. One last thing on this: The Breakfast Club revisit. I love. I got a caveat. How about Judd Nelson plays the vice principal?
Yeah, exactly.
Because he
That
couldn't
would
get
make
out of his
sense.
little town, burnout, ended up as a vice principal, and he
That makes
is holding detention. now.
I would
sense.
rather see him as the wise old custodian.
Even
Like, seriously, think of-
that is fire.
I was a loser.
That's fire.
This is how I ended up here. So don't be like me.
And Emilio Estevez is the failed gym teacher who holds
Yeah,
detention.
he's the gym teacher, totally. He's the gym teacher, totally.
Talking about the glory days and everything. Back in '86, we had this meet. It's like, really? Cool.
All right, listen. Maz wants to talk hockey.
No,
You
we've been renamed the Woodward Movie Network.
That's okay,
AC
man.
says we're now the Woodward Movie Network.
WMN.
You guys did this.
That was
This
our-
was that. Like
yeah.
Petey was telling me in the chat. Petey
It was the
like,
chat.
They're going nuts about Spaceballs.
How many times did he tell you that?
A bunch of times, to the point where Maz even looked at Pete and said, "Hey, are they going nuts in the chat, Pete?" And Pete said something that I can't repeat on Fox 2 because I've already
Exactly.
been fined twice.
Exactly.
Oh, Dante 151 with the super chat. We missed you yesterday, buddy. They need a Kill Bill 3. Amen. They certainly do. Because the chick in the beginning, her daughter, she says, "You come and get me later on down the line."
Yeah.
That is an awesome one. I love that. When I remember watching that many times and seeing her as a little kid and be like, giving her the opportunity, you come and exact revenge on me the same way I did through these 2 movies. It is perfectly set up. However, Bill has been killed.
Yeah.
In real life too.
Wow, that'd
makes
be
sense.
Autoerotic asphyxiation, gentlemen.
We'll get it. Who hasn't been
All
there?
right, now we're off the rails. Then.
Now we're-
Sorry, Fox
Let's
2.
get back to
We are officially off the rails Thursday.
We'll get into hockey in a second.
Now, I don't know if you know this, Sean.
No more.
I don't know if you know
No
this.
more fun facts.
But
Anson.
listen, we are only allowed 30 seconds on E&E for hockey.
Right.
Are you okay
You
with
believe
that?
that's all they've given me all this time?
Are you serious?
They've given me the Maz Hockey Minute. But
It's a hockey
today,
30 seconds.
today we're breaking it.
I had a feeling.
I
had a feeling.
No, can we
35
talk about the finals very quickly?
No.
Before we
Nope.
The final.
You don't want to talk about it?
Basketball.
Yeah, I
What?
did it.
What's
didn't I?
that?
I did it. Didn't I?
What's basketball? I don't even
Is
know what you're
Indiana
talking
gonna
about.
win this thing?
I have no idea who the Pacers are. ABA team?
Yeah.
Well,
3-time champion of the ABA.
I'm sure we'll get into it in the second hour, gentlemen.
I'm intrigued. I like it.
Hey,
I
listen.
think it's a good story, man.
This series, I
It's
told
a fun
you guys,
series so far.
It
and
is
I
a fun
told you
series.
that the chance that the Pacers had was twofold. Benedict Mathurin has to be the guy that everyone in Detroit was lamenting when we didn't draft him. What he looked like he was going to become, that he kind of failed to become this last year and a half, he was last night. That was the Mathurin. That was the M&M game, the Mathurin and McConnell game. And the first game, they had the shot. They're going to need 2 more games that are identified one certain way, because realistically, they have to have everything go right. They have to do everything the right way, and OKC has to play badly for them to get these W's that they've won. But the other way I said that they would win was mimicking 04. And they came out and they stole game 1, and then they dumped game 2. They come back and they win a fighter. They win a battle on their home court, and maybe can they come out and take that emotion and momentum and win these 2 games and not go back to OKC? Because if this
it's 2-3-2?
I'm sorry, it's not. It's 2-2-1.
2-2.
I forget
2-2-1-1.
that. I forget that. I miss the 2-3-2 format.
No, I like 2-2-1-1-1.
I love the 2-3-2 format.
You brought up game 2 in 04. I literally, when Kobe hit that shot, I thought to myself, I'm going to have to see that gosh damn shot every year for the rest of my
I
life.
thought that won the
Like
series
literally.
for the Lakers.
Yep, so did I. And I was like, people are going to be talking about that's the moment that Kobe made the Lakers his, and they were going to make it as one of the greatest shots of all time and everything. I remember sitting at home going, I'm going to have to watch this every year for the rest of my life. And I don't think I've seen it once since then. It's amazing how that
right.
works out, you
Oh,
know?
my goodness.
But no, it's funny you say that, because that was my I got a lot of Laker Piston vibes, but the only difference is this was Oklahoma City's coming out party. For the years of promise, finally it's all coming together. Finally they're going to fulfill their destiny. And I think the Pacers are saying something different about it. I like it. I think it's a cool story, man.
Well, it's becoming a great series. And Freddie Felt, you weren't here yesterday, but you did get your apology, which I will not repeat. But I think the thing that's tipping the balance towards the Pacers currently is the fact that OKC has not had battles this year. They've blown out most teams. When they lose, they kind of pack it in early and they say, we'll come back and get you. They haven't lost back-to-back games this season. But the Pacers were baptized through an Eastern Conference fire. 3 rounds of fire, 3 rounds of battles, physical battles. And they are perfectly situated to steal this series because of those battles, because they've had to just scratch and claw for any win that they've gotten. Meanwhile, OKC has had a pretty paved path to where they are right now, but they're going to have to figure out how to win tight games. But they only got 1 more that they can dump.
Yep, that's exactly it. All right, listen, coming up after 3 o'clock, I love what Amon-Ra said. You got get your minds right, all of you. Woo. I'm serious, the whole fan base.
Yeah.
Get your minds right. All right?
Yes.
Wrap your arms around all of it.
Amen.
And that's what Amon-Ra is doing. Anson's such a nice guy. He agreed to give us 40 seconds of hockey talk. So we're going to make it count as much as we can in 40 seconds.
45.
Do you see that? You see what a wonderful guy he is? Make sure you get in the chat as well. There's some cool stuff that Anson has. We're hooking up all the super chats. Anson will do that the last 5 minutes of the show. But Petey, where are we going?
We're going here for you, my man.
Oh, absolutely.
Pump some iron.
You know what? This one's easy. I've been at Planet Fitness Northville for 20 years. Why?
Wow.
You know what? It's cheap. I love it. Sir, you want me to lie to you? It's cheap. And oh, by the way, you know what the added bonus is? I get everything that you get at your gym that you're paying 20 times for. You should join Planet Fitness. There's no doubt about that. All Planet Fitness memberships include fitness training, no extra cost. You've got the perks. You can pick up some perks there. Seriously, I know Neil's been doing it. I joined my Planet Fitness at the Water Wheel in Northville 20 years ago. You'll keep going as well. There is a difference at Planet Fitness. And yeah, price matters as well. 50 plus Metro Detroit locations. Check them out, Planet Fitness.
And after you do that, man, make sure you go to shop.woodwardsports.com so you get a nice, Detroit sports shirt to wear while you're working out. Why not, man? Hoodies, tees, shirts, hats, it doesn't matter. They're all guaranteed to turn heads. Shop.woodwardsports.com. Get your Detroit sports merch there. It doesn't matter what team. Tigers are heating up. Lions about to get going before you know it. It's going to be preseason, and you want a good something for the Lions. Red Wings. Get your hoodies, all that now. Shop.woodwardsports.com. Shop.woodwardsports.com. We'll be right back.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasta salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
The boys of summer are here, and Woodward Sports is all over the Motor City with the White Claw Tigers Tour. Come party with Woodward Sports, watch the Tigers, and sip on some White Claw all summer long. The best bars, big giveaways, live events, and a party that only Woodward Sports can throw. Ain't no party like a Woodward Sports party. Join us Friday, June 13th from 5 to 7 with the heavyweights at Nemo's in Corktown for the White Claw Tigers Tour, brought to you by White Claw and Ven Johnson.
You know what time it is. My favorite time of the show. Time for you to scan that QR code above my head. Use that code word over there, Woodward 1000, to open up your brand new Caesars Sportsbook account. When you do so and make your first deposit, make your first bet of $20 or more. If that first bet loses, you get your first bet back as a bonus bet up to $1,000, but only if you scan that QR code above my head. Use that code word over there, Woodward 1000, to open up your brand new Caesars Sportsbook account.
Guys, let's be honest.
Keep going.
We like simple stuff like Freddie Felt Choosing Final Series. We like uncomplicated. And like Lady Jane's haircuts for men, that's super uncomplicated. Walk in, sign in. Before you know it, you're handsome, clean, and your hair is did. Lady Jane's open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
You know, I have to bring this up because a lot of times people don't get the love they deserve. Pete Spivak made people so much money during football season. Oh, you really did. When we did that,
Sean. He's still doing it during baseball season.
Like I don't think people
they don't.
He hit on some weird ones too.
Yeah, no, he's good.
You know, if player X's testicle falls out at some point during the game, and it was like, how'd you know that, Pete?
How did you know his balls?
Seriously, I don't know if it's inside information, whatever the case may be. No, Pete, you hit some wild ones during football season.
I appreciate that.
It was kind of funny because it'd be like 3:00 in the afternoon, and like Neil or I would like, Pete, what's wrong with you? Seriously, no human can even think of that, let alone hit that.
Do you bet?
No, I don't.
No.
I can't control myself.
Appreciate you, Sean.
I'm not being funny. It's funny. I know me well enough. I have a very addictive personality. I know how I am. As I'm holding this in my right hand and I'm bragging to Maz about all the smoked meat on my Traeger right now. That as I pulled up my
What's the
app,
temperature
it's
on that
about
meat?
156 right now.
Nice.
If I started, I wouldn't be able to stop. So I literally have to police myself.
God bless you.
I don't put it on my phone.
Is your truck out there still?
Yes. But you know what I now you know what yes,
Okay, it is there.
you know what I do if I go to a sports book though, that's a different thing, because I walk in with X amount of money and I say to myself, this is it. Right. This is, I'm not like, that money's aside. I think, Maz, I told you the story when we were at Mandalay. I won a very significant amount of money. I will thank Old Mills to the day I die for that. I won a very significant amount of money there, but that's the only way I do it. If I put it on my phone,
right,
I know what a degenerate I am.
Rebels.
I'm not even being funny.
See, I let myself have $25 last year, mainly so I could just take part in the conversation about the bets. Mm-hmm. I hit on a 5-leg parlay with our big four to score. You know, J-Mo, Monty, Jameer, and of course Amon-Ra. And then I threw a little Brock Wright in there. I hit nice on that one. And then I had $5, which I put in week 8. What was it? Kansas City versus Philly. And at the end of the season, I had no money left in that account. I did hit on that one. So I got 120. And I took my check and I ran. And I will put $25 in again next year, but that's it. I am not a savant. I want to win $27,000 on a 50-cent 12-leg parlay. It's not going to happen, but it's fun to talk about.
Speaking of J-Mo, have you read the J-Mo stuff in the papers that he is going to there are some writers out there, I think it was Jeff Risdon, who said that he's going to get paid before we know it. Wow. It could happen any time that they will extend Jamison Williams.
Wow.
Yeah, he's had a hell of an off season. Graduated from Wayne State this past off season. And
I'm familiar with that
looks
place.
like he's been hitting the gym. I mean, there is a noticeable bulk to him at this point. Haven't read anything bad about him. No driving on 6 Mile late at night. No performance-enhancing substances or any other negative story.
He's just showing up at games. He's showing up at Tiger games. He was at Pistons games. He's loving Detroit. He's like fitting in.
So now I'm going to be part of the conversation like you just said.
Yep.
I gave our boy Justin. Are you familiar with Justin's work?
Oh yes.
I gave our boy Justin $10 and to put it on a offensive player of the year prop bet with Jamison Williams.
How about that?
I put 10. The odds were astronomical, so I said, why don't I just throw $10 at it?
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
1,700 to 1.
I forget.
That'll
Justin,
be something good to chase.
But like Justin and I were talking about it, and I looked at him. I said, dude, are you putting money on that? And he was like, yeah. I said, here's 10. And I threw $10 at him. I said, please throw $10 on that for me.
You said offensive player of the year?
Offensive player of the year.
Gotcha.
I mean, look, it's a long shot.
Who cares?
But
something to chase.
If all this hype is out there, There's a reason it's out there.
Yes.
And I think just by virtue of he plays with the Burger King offense, I think that limits what he can do. Because it really is. It's a have it your way offense.
Yeah, there's many people.
You want to focus on Sam Laporta. Have you met Jahmyr Gibbs? You guys are going to put the guys in the box? Well, there's J-Mo. We'll let J-Mo take a little rundown. So it's not the offense that lends itself to a guy going over the top. But with all the hype that you just spoke of, Anson, yeah, I thought to myself, why not? It's $10. Here you go.
Well, and who knows? We've never seen this guy play 17 games.
Yeah.
And when you have to sit and you have to answer questions and all of the drama that's going around the separate incidents that he had, it's hard to keep your head in the game. It's hard to not have any rust for the couple of weeks that you're off. But in terms of hype, I have hyped up today's prize package. Pete, you want to pan down a little bit?
Yeah, hang on.
Courtesy of the legend in the chat, Mr. Freddie Feld himself, on the anniversary, as Maz pointed out, of Justin Verlander's first ever no-hitter. We got this awesome Verlander. I'll call it an action figure.
Yeah.
So that's in there along with the Wahlburgers t-shirt as well as the card package. So, guys, let's see your super chats. Of course, we'll read them live.
Sean, I got something for you. I don't get to hear your opinion a lot anymore.
All right.
I know Anson's, I know Braylon's, I know Ryan's, I know the boys. Frank Ragnow, not on this team anymore. Kevin Zeitler, they let him be. The way that line is now, are the Lions as good today as they were last year on the offense?
No. I don't. You can't understate. You can't understate Frank Ragnow leaving. You can't. That doesn't mean by the end of the year the continuity is established. That doesn't mean that there's a new anchor in there. But this argument, I'm glad that you brought that up because I was talking to the guys at Big D Energy about this. So let me get this straight. Out of one side of our mouth, we told anybody that would listen the last 2 years, he is, if not the second best, the best center in the game, right?
Correct.
Right.
Now he's off the team, and you're going to tell me everything's okay.
Exactly.
No, stop. Before you yell at me, I'm not saying that they can't win the North. I'm not saying that they can't win the NFC. I'm not saying they can't win a Super Bowl. All those things are still in play, and they should be in play. More on that. But if we're going to tell everybody, we're going to stick our chests out and tell everybody, we got the best center in the game. And if not the best center, one of the best centers in the game. And then he's gone? No, it doesn't. You can't undersell that. Man.
Right. How good was he, and maybe I should say how healthy was he when the playoffs came around?
He was too darn beat up.
Exactly.
He
and
would.
Where
would say
we
the same
be
thing.
with him this year? In the same spot or worse? So yes, it's a blow. You know, it sucks losing a guy that's that good, that has the track record he has, and the chemistry that he has with the line that we've had together for the last couple of years.
Yep.
But I look at the opportunity to get these young guys into the line from week one, because 15 wins doesn't mean anything if you're not healthy when the playoffs come around.
Couldn't agree more.
And to me, yes, we might only win 10 games because of it. But I think that this team will be better suited for the playoffs with a young line, and they'll be better suited going forward. And I know Maz is tired of hearing this because I've said it a bunch of times, but I firmly believe it. And I believe it because I think Brad and Dan knew this was coming, and that's why they drafted Tate. So to me, they were prepared. So we have to trust in Dan and Brad. We will be fine.
I'm convinced they were prepared for next year. I'm convinced. I know we'll never find out the truth, but I'm convinced.
No, you're right.
I'm convinced that they thought it was coming next year, because the one thing that you have to remember about Brad and Dan is they don't like putting rookies in high leverage situations. They're kind of old school. For our generation, Bill Parcells, Maz.
That's the way it should be.
Hated rookies.
Yeah.
Guy hated rookies, right? I'm not saying that
Except
they hate
LT.
rookies. See, and the way you said it when you take the screwdriver to it, I agree. What is right now, today? Nobody can tell me that the Lions' offensive line is just as good.
Right.
Let's see how that continuity and chemistry builds during the year. So in mid-January, yeah, maybe we're having that conversation where, and look, I don't give a crap about 15-2. I don't. Look, I love what Amon-Ra said. It's Super Bowl or bust, period. Period. Anything that happens before then, it doesn't mean go 17-0. I don't give two craps. But go full on New England Patriots. I don't care. And I think, should we all be at that point right now?
We have that sound, by the way.
so.
Oh,
Let's play it. Let's hear. St. Brown.
St. Brown?
Yeah.
I think for us, it's Super Bowl or nothing. I mean, at this point, we want to win the Super Bowl. That's it. Obviously, you got to make the playoffs to win the Super Bowl, but that's understood by everyone. So we want to win the Super Bowl, plain and simple. I love it. More primetime games is something that I love. You play good teams; they want to put you on the big screen. So I think it's a great challenge for us. You know, if we do make the playoffs, getting into the playoffs, playing teams like that get you ready for playoff football. I mean, each week you want to have you want to go get battle tested. I think we're going to get that each and every week this year, which is great. We've got some tough road games, some tough home games. So I'm excited for it. You love going against good teams because, you think you're a good team yourself until you go against a good one and they challenge you. So we're excited for it. I know Coach Campbell is too. So it's going to be a fun training camp, fun season.
Love it. Love it. Like you guys, I'm going to appeal to everybody out there. Not everybody, because some of you, we got to stop being bitches. Am I allowed to say that?
Yes.
Female dogs. He's talking about female dogs.
Yes, we got to stop being female dogs. No, but you know what? You guys, this team, I always go back to last year. Remember before the Green Bay game at Green Bay? Everybody was talking about, oh no, the weather, it's going to rain for 3 days and whatever will we do? And Dan Campbell came out and said, man, we love this. We're built for this. We want this. And then the most beautiful thing about it, you know who looked like they weren't built for it? Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers.
Yes, sir.
This franchise is different now, man.
Right.
This is a franchise. Well, I don't know. This is graded one of the most difficult schedules ever. Embrace it. That's what these guys are doing. And Anson, again, if you're one of those people you're expecting 15-2, my jaw would drop if this team went 15-2.
Right.
It would legitimately drop. You know what? 12-5, 11-6. Find a way to win this division and then make your bread come playoff time. And I'm going to tell everybody out there the same damn thing I've said on Big D Energy 1,000 times. Stop it with this. Oh, no, they're going the other way. Remember a year ago at this time? Nick Sirianni was going to lose his job.
Yeah.
It was over. Blow up the Eagles. They had their window. Stop it. It doesn't work that way. When you have a good franchise, you have a good culture, you have quality players in place, you're going to stay in the mix.
Yep.
That's correct.
You're killing it right now, and Freddie felt he wanted Super Chat to double down on that. Sean B is a legend. He says he needs to meet you next time. I guess my question is what the hell happened, Detroit? You guys were all sucking on the teat with complete confidence that this team down 22 defenders was going to roll through the Super Bowl and win their first championship. And now, here we are, one retirement and a handful of months later, and guys are worried that we're going to win the division, maybe not even win 10 games. It's so hard for me to see what Dan and Brad have done and realize that Detroit Lions fans still don't believe. Now, I'm Mr. SOL. I have a bar where you have to get to the Super Bowl. But I've been reading stuff talking about Dan Campbell's job if they don't get to the Super Bowl and all this kind of stuff. I don't know how short your memory is, guys. But did you forget what this franchise was before Dan and Brad got here? They might not win a Super Bowl this year, but they'll be in the playoffs. And they'll be in the playoffs again the year after. And the year after. And that is what the Fords wanted when they brought this dream team together.
Yep.
All right, that takes me to this question now. To Sean. I already know your answer, Anson. You despise when I even bring it up. What am I going to bring up?
Hockey?
Trey Hendrickson. I'm going to bring up Trey Hendrickson's name because I have not gotten Sean's opinion on it. Now, guys like me and Pete, some fans out there, fanatics, call us whatever. You look at a guy like him, you know the Bengals have screwed it up.
Right.
And they continue to screw it up. And he is not a happy camper. He will not play without a new contract.
That's right.
Is it worth even thinking about going after this guy? Forget that. If you were Brad Holmes, would you sign this man?
I would say we can't give you the long-term deal that you're looking for, but if you absolutely positively have to get out of Cincinnati, we're going to give you a big, beautiful home and let you plan for your next contract. And then he'll laugh at them and, you know, right. I get it. It's a pipe dream. Like, I hope you know I'm not being disrespectful.
No,
to you,
I don't care.
I like
just throwing it out there.
I don't think the Lions could make that work for the long term. I think they're in a position that they know they have some contracts coming up, especially if the stuff that Risden said about J-Mo is true. Because let's be honest, there were a lot of people saying that he might be the one left out in the rain.
Right.
You know, I love the idea. Oh my gosh, I look, Za'Darius is coming back. We all know that now, right?
I hope so.
He's coming back. There's no doubt in my mind. Did you see the clip that was making the rounds?
He's not letting his Detroit girlfriend dress him so that he can leave and go somewhere else.
That's awesome. And let's be honest, we've all been dressed before.
Only when they're inspiring, brother.
There's no doubt about that. But Maz, I love the idea. I love it, love it, love it. But I just don't think the schematics of it work.
So you're all right when he goes to the Eagles then?
I don't think they could make that work long term. I don't.
They could make it work this year.
They're playing
they can make it work. See, that's what I'm saying. If you want to do the this year thing, come into my bosom. But I don't think he's going to do that. I don't think he's going to do that.
Pause. You don't think Howie Roseman will? He got rid of about 6 players off the Super Bowl team already. He's freeing up money.
He's going to have some big decisions coming up too. I mean, think about some of the guys he's got.
But they've won Super Bowls.
Yeah, 1,000%, and that's all that matters. For me,
they've won.
I told you, win one, I'm done.
And
I will never cry about this team again, ever.
And what has Philly done for the last decade?
Win.
Make the playoffs.
Win.
Give themselves a puncher's chance to be playing in February. Yep. You know, I'll have to look back, but out of the last 10 years, I can't really think of them missing the playoffs more than once, maybe.
I am so glad that we're out of the Jim Caldwell years. You guys know this.
Jim Caldwell.
I am so glad that we're out of the years where we are like celebrating the absolute bare minimum around here. I'm so glad we're done with it.
I agree.
2014 could have been different, though.
Yeah, that stinks. It really does.
Really?
You wasted a damn good defense.
They
wasted a
well,
defense.
they got hoodwinked.
Yeah.
7 of the last 8 years, Philly has been in the playoffs, which has resulted in 2 rings. So I see people in the chat, and people get really upset when I say, because you hear the debate.
Howie's the best GM in the league.
But do you want a really good team for years, or do you want one Super Bowl? And I hear so many people say, man, if we could have one Super Bowl, I'll go back to 50 years of not making the playoffs. But
that's not how it
happens. The
thing
that those people fail to realize is that it's not just 53 players and some coaches. It's ownership. And they've got bills to pay and a stadium to fill and relevance to maintain. And if you can put together a culture and draft and develop players the way that they have on all 3 accounts, where you are a perennial team in the conversation, at some point you're going to cash that check, just like the Philadelphia Eagles have twice in the last 8 years.
Cash it.
All right, tell everybody about Les Stanford.
Les Stanford, my friend, has a massive inventory, and they've got 3 awesome deals specifically that you can see above my head. Directly above me, $259 a month gets you into that 25 in Vision. The 25 Sierra over on the other side, double cab elevation, only $169 a month. That is wow. And for those super players like Sean Baligian, $699, and you'll be driving a Hummer around the D. Pause. So get to Les Stanford today and check out their massive inventory. Les Stanford Buick and GMC. You can find them at lesstanford.com. And gentlemen, together, let's drive.
Are you a real Detroit sports fan? Woodward Sports is here to give you all the Detroit sports you can handle. Weekdays, make sure you're locked in on Wake Up Woodward from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Followed by Big D Energy with Neil Rule and Darren McCarty from 11 a.m. to 1. Up next, you can't miss Ermanni and Edwards with Maz from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And finish the day out with the bad boys of Detroit sports media, the Woodward Heavyweights, from 5 to 7 p.m. Okay, wait, that isn't enough for you, you sports freak? Check out Woodward Wings, Woodward Ringside, and the Lions Weekly Update every Sunday with Broder, Terry Foster, and Sean Baligian. Subscribe on YouTube for all our great content, and make sure you're following on all social media, X, IG, Facebook, and TikTok. You want sports? We got you covered. Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
The boys of summer are ready to get back to the playoffs, and there's no better place to get your Tigers coverage than Woodward Sports. Join us all season long as we follow as our hometown Tigers claw and fight. This ball is gone. The boys are back in town. Feel the roar with Woodward Sports.
Make sure you stay connected to Woodward Sports on all social platforms. Follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram. Make sure you get us on YouTube, Twitch, TikTok. Stay up to date with the latest sports news, live updates, and of course that behind-the-scenes action. Don't miss out. Hit that follow button now and be a part of Detroit's #1 digital sports network. Once again, we're on Facebook, X, Instagram, along with YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok. Follow us now at Woodward Sports. Once again, that's at Woodward Sports on all those platforms. Follow us now.
You know, there are some dudes in town, you just know their name. That guy right there, Ben Johnson, is one of them. Justice means different things to different people. Whether it's a settlement or a verdict, justice is always worth the fight. Ben Johnson knows that. It's his creed. If you've got a case, contact the fighters at Ben Johnson Law today. Get the justice that you deserve. Tough, tenacious trial lawyers, Ben Johnson Law.
Detroit, not to be confused with Ben Johnson, the coward of Chicago.
There you go.
I won't say his name. Has enough time passed where...
No.
Let me just say this.
No.
24 hours after we lost, he's a Bears coach?
What I mean is all the people out there that got mad at people, like, it sounds like this room. Like, the second he left...
Bye-bye.
And he went to the Bears, you're done with me.
Well, at least they've got good quality control now.
Listen, Joik Bell, shout out to Joik. I did his games in college. I consider Joik a friend. We worked together. We did some things together. When he signed with the Bears, I sent him a text, and I said, "You're dead to
You're
me
dead
now."
to me.
And he's like, "Oh, man, you can't do me like that." And I said, "You're a Bear."
You did me like that.
I was really surprised at the reaction from some fans, and a lot of I'm going to tell you point blank, holier-than-thou pious media members in town that kind of took the tack that they did. Well, I wouldn't forget what he did for this franchise. He's a Bear.
Right.
You know, I never
He's
hear,
a Bear.
He's sitting
I
on
never
the
hear
toilet seat.
about the concession stand workers. They don't care about what they did for the franchise.
It's straight. So let me explain this to you, okay? You know what? Our defensive coordinator went to the Jets. Yeah. I can give you a tap. I can give you a tip of the clap. Hat. Aaron, I could probably give you the clap too.
Oh man.
I've been some places I shouldn't have been in my day. Okay.
Sorry, Mario Lou. We didn't mean that.
Cut that. I
But
want
with that being said, okay, Aaron Glenn's with the Jets.
Poor guy.
I don't care about Ben, I won't say his name, and the Chicago Bears. They were my tormentor growing up. Younger people had to worry about Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre. The Bears were my tormentor. Good luck? Are you out of your mind?
Hope you get a paper.
Good luck to the Chicago Bears.
What?
And if we weren't on Fox 2 right now, I would say something complete with 2 middle fingers as well.
Sorry about that.
There's no good luck with the Chicago Bears.
None.
Your good luck means bad luck for me.
Yep.
No.
I agree.
Sorry.
Amen.
And you know what? Can I also say this? Some of the people that were kind of taking that tact, and if you take it as an offense, I don't care. You didn't grow up here.
Right.
You did not live what I had to live through, what Anson had to live through, what people that grew up around here. It's easy for you to say growing up where you grew up, okay? This team tortured me. So pardon me if I don't say good luck to Ben Johnson. I hope you fail miserably. Miserably. Horribly. Just another chapter in what has become a terrible, terrible franchise. I want one whole chapter to be dedicated to your epic failure.
Woodward Sports, welcome into an off the rails Thursday
Sorry.
here.
Sorry.
Now, that said, do you blame him for going there?
No, I
right.
don't blame him.
All right.
So listen, since we're so off the rails and we're so off pace in the super chat,
Sorry,
Hockey
Anson.
time.
This is the greatest.
well, it's not quite that.
Oh, yeah.
Not quite that. We have too much time for hockey.
No, it's hockey time.
However, before we get to the hockey
I haven't
45,
had a minute in 3 months to
until
talk
we get
about
to the hockey 45, I'm doubling super chats right now.
Oh, no.
I'm doubling super chat entries for the
All right.
next 15 minutes, 17 minutes. You have until 3:50.
Yes.
Every super chat's going to get you the double the spots on the wheel. Give us some more off the rails topics, off the rails comments. Let's keep it going, guys.
Oh, this
You
is
know
great.
what? I'm in that mode. I'm telling you. I think I brought this up. You and I did a show last summer. I'm one of those guys, man, when you're a kid, you look forward to the summer. Now the summer, I can't wait for the summer to be over, and it hasn't even started yet.
NFL.
I'm sitting back saying 72 days until week 0 of college football season.
There you go.
72 days. Like, I
that's crazy.
can't wait. Just fast forward. My cider mill opens that day. It's the greatest day. It's the greatest day of the
can't
year.
talk cider mills yet, man. No, not yet. I'm not
72
ready.
days, damn
I'm
it.
not ready.
72
I'm not ready.
days. But this is what happens when you start talking football. And you know, Maz, I know you're one of those guys.
I'm a freak.
I start looking at like the primetime schedule.
Oh, God, yeah.
Ooh, look at this. Oh, this Monday night game, I'm going to roll to the cider mill beforehand, and then I'll be back in time for the kickoff and all that. But that's where we're at right now. And Anson, even with the NBA final going on, the Stanley Cup final going on, and the Tigers being the best team in baseball, I don't care what anybody says. This is a football town. It is. And once the football chatter starts, the emotion starts to come out. Oh, wow.
Wow.
No, that's not my truck.
But
being
it's a
towed.
G.I. Joe Cobra
It's a G.I.
edition.
Joe
What?
Cobra.
There is
Oh.
an amazing. Is that a
I thought
Camaro?
woman.
That is
She
sick.
was pointing at a woman.
Wow.
But that's really,
Now,
really
for those of you that don't know, I am a huge G.I. Joe fan. I have the Arashikaji
Is that what that is? I
Ninja
thought-
Clan tattoo here, which is also
the
from the
barcode.
I Ching. Means Wei Chi never be
Did you have the
complacent.
G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip, though?
I always seek out Kung Fu grips.
How's your comic collection? Because I got some GI Joe comics, which I may or
Stop
may
it.
or
Do you
may
have
not
number
want.
21, the silent issue?
I have the first 30.
Sean, who do you like tonight? Oilers down 2-1 in
allowing this?
Sunrise,
I'm looking
Florida.
at-
Hey,
Did
listen.
you notice my head immediately went to him? I want to make sure this is
The
being
Florida
allowed.
Panthers up 2-1.
No,
the
wait a
Stanley
second.
Cup
You have to
champs.
officially start your hockey minute, and then I'm flipping my coffee cup like an hourglass.
I'm going longer than a minute, so
Can
you can
I
keep
You're
say
lucky
this?
you got Sean here.
No, Maz, let me say this. All jokes aside, everything points to Edmonton rolling over and playing dead. That third period was awful. It was a joke.
Why?
Because they got in their head. And Florida knew they got in their head, and they started running around like they were Florida. In Florida, they aren't, okay? If it was any other team, I might be. I think people are forgetting a year ago at this time, we were sitting there saying Sergei Bobrovsky was going to win a Conn Smythe Trophy,
Yeah,
and
Bob.
the Oilers were going to get swept.
Yeah.
And then something funny happened, Anson. They went and won the next 3 games. There's a tenacity with this team. There's a tenacity with their goaltender that makes me think that they're not done yet. But Florida is a machine.
And how about when they got Brad Marchand? When they got him, I said, man.
Hand in glove.
I mean, that's it. This guy left Boston, went there, and I'm happy for them. This is their third straight appearance in the Cup final. They won last year. They lost to Vegas the prior year.
Do you know what they're doing?
And they got a shot to go up 3-1 tonight.
Maz, you know what they're doing? They're doing what the Red Wings shouldn't have done this past year. And what I mean by that, I don't know if you guys are. I thought the Tarasenko signing was awful. Awful.
I thought he would have been a good playoff guy.
I said it second one. Let me tell you why I thought it was awful. He fit hand in glove to Florida.
Yeah.
Bury him on the third line. You're not asking him to be what he was 6 years ago. When he came to Detroit, all of a sudden you're asking him to be something that he hadn't been in 6 years. And so if anybody starts throwing around, well, I know Marchand's 37. Why don't we bring in Marchand? It won't work here.
Right.
You don't have the depth. You're asking him to be something that he isn't here. So I couldn't stand the Tarasenko signing from second one. Said so on Big D Energy. But look, this is Florida's series to lose. Period.
Yeah.
End of story.
No doubt.
Good call.
Last thing on the hockey. How far away are the Red Wings? And how long does Stevie Yzerman have left?
He's got as long as he wants left.
He does.
I'm convinced of it, whether people want to admit it or not. There are two things working against them. The first is the obvious. They don't have any great players.
Right on.
No.
Today, as we sit here today, okay, all I can do is talk about today. It's just like we were talking about with the offensive line, Anson. I think the Lions' offensive line will be pretty good by the end of the year. Right now, I can tell you definitively they're not as good without Frank Ragnow. I can tell you that
That's
definitively.
true.
Okay,
That is true.
And
Week
and
one
I
for
would say
sure.
the same thing about the Detroit Red Wings right now. I think Lucas Raymond can be something. I think ASP can jump in it and be a pretty darn good player. Nygaard, Danielson, you can. Right now, they don't have any exceptional players. That's number one. Number two, the division that they're in really hurts them. Okay, because you have a division. Tampa isn't going anywhere. Okay, they kind of proved that last year. I think their cup winning days are done, but they're not going anywhere. Toronto. Well, Toronto's going to put together cute regular seasons and get bounced in the playoff because that's what Toronto does. The Florida Panthers, the Montreal Canadiens, and the Ottawa Senators are doing the rebuild better than the Detroit Red Wings are.
Yeah.
Period. End of story. That's what hurts the Red Wings right now. So we'll see. Who's the goalie next year? Seriously.
They don't. Kosa.
All right, Maz, I'll play your game. I'll play your games. Are you an anti-Canadian club hockey fan?
No.
I'm not either.
No.
He's Habs
I'm
man.
a Habs fan.
Well,
You know that.
well, oh yes, I do know
Yeah,
that.
see that?
I would never want to see Florida and they have won a championship, right?
Yeah, they won last year.
Okay, so the expansion teams, you know how I am. I don't want any expansion team to ever win. I wanted to just absolutely vomit everywhere when the Heat got their first chip. I look at the Toronto, and I mean, they are our neighbors, and the way that people just love to watch them lose is strange to me. But like, if you're my age or above 30, maybe above 35, you know the lore of the Oilers.
Right
and
on.
to see them be able to get back and get one, to me, I don't know why anybody would be cheering for
Well, they're
Florida.
an expansion team. I mean, they came over from the WHA.
You weren't even alive when that happened.
Yeah, I was.
Stop it.
Yeah, I was.
Stop it.
I'm just saying.
I get
I'm
what
trying
you-
to compliment you, buddy.
I think there's more validity to what Biz said to Gary Bettman the other day, and that's why Gary Bettman got so pissed.
Yeah.
Okay, the tax thing is a huge factor.
It is.
Like let's not be childish about that. And I kind of thought that Gary, you got Gary is when Gary decides he's going to shoot back.
Right on.
That's when and Gary was had the other night. Are you going to tell me, Anson, you can do this job in Detroit and be paid what you're paid, or make a heck of a lot more money down in Sunrise, Florida, or Tampa?
Well, if you knew, you'd know I'd be here for free.
But I mean, you know what I'm saying. I mean, you're these guys. A guy can sign the same contract in Toronto and make a crap load more, signing the exact same contract in Florida.
Yeah.
Because of the lack of taxes, because of the lack of a provincial tax, because of the
Well, Nashville, too. No one brings that up.
It's reality.
Tennessee doesn't have a state tax.
Listen, it's reality.
What about your boy Donnie trying to do away with it all in all 50 states? That would tighten things up, because I remember first learning about
That
this
would be
whole,
nice.
This whole it would be nice for all of us.
Yeah.
That whole phenomenon that went on when we were about to lose Grant Hill to Orlando, and we were able to fortunately work out a sign and trade that brought us a defensive demon named Ben Wallace and my old buddy Chuck Atkins. But when you hear, okay, well, Tim Duncan and McGrady and Grant are all going to go to the Magic because they're going to make millions more not having to pay that. You talk about the Yankees having this inherent advantage in a non-salary cap league. Obviously, the Dodgers are monopolizing that, but that's something that really you have to take into consider. It's a big reason why I think that Florida teams have had success. And unfortunately, it's something that needs to be equalized.
I couldn't agree more. By the way, you want to know how cool Grant Hill is? You guys will probably
No, he's not cool at all.
No, but listen, you probably remember this, okay? We were doing a radio show at my old radio station, and people were calling in left and right, hammering Grant Hill on that very night. Tell me you remember this. He called our hotline and said, "Can I come in?"
GFN?
DFN. He called the hotline and said, "Can I come in?" And we're like, "Come in and do what?" He was like, "I want to take some phone calls." He came in and did a show with Eric Pate and I.
Oh.
Knowing
Eric.
full well that guys were going to be firing arrows at him the entire time. I've never seen anything like it. And I even looked at him. I go, "What are you doing?" He was like, "Nah, man, people deserve to know. People in this town are really
What were they
cool."
saying to him?
People were killing him. And he was like, "I understand how you feel that way. Let me try to explain this." But he came in the night that happened. Came in, called in, and said, "Can I come in? I'd like to explain it to the fans."
If he doesn't get forced to play and probably destroy his career on a gimpy ankle, I think it was, he might not have left.
Yeah.
He might not have left, and I don't know if a lot of Pistons fans know that, but there's a lot of contempt on Grant Hill's side, and it's right, and it's justified. His career was shortened or lessened because he was pushed to play while injured.
Who pushed him?
I heard Joe D.
Really?
I heard Joe D.
I don't know that.
Yeah, I don't know definitively, but I will say I know definitively that the chat got the memo on the doubled super chats.
That a boy.
You know what? In
Read 'em.
fact, I'm going to go crazy. And you want to triple them for the next 6 minutes?
I think that we
don't
should.
even care.
Oh,
Why not?
good
So
Lord.
we're going to triple them for
Let's do
6
it.
minutes.
I agree.
Let's get a nice total in today. You're taking the Verlander action figure. You're taking the shirt and a whole bunch of cards here as well. Dante 151, Shamar Stewart hasn't signed his deal with the Bengals. Walk like an Egyptian, but he brought that up when you were talking about Trey Hendrickson, and the fact is, if they don't sign him, he could re-enter the draft. Not a guy I'm interested in his Career 4.5 sacks through college in 3 years.
He's killing the Bengals verbally, too. He is just killing them.
Do you
He's a
think-
rookie.
Do you know what I think he's doing as well? He's killing his potential value anywhere else.
Yeah.
Because think about this franchise.
Nobody wants
Do you
that.
think this franchise wants that?
No.
With the culture change that they did?
No way.
Hey, let me tell you about buddies. No, you know what, Pete? Just put the picture up. I don't need to say anything. There's your picture. Put the picture up. It's like a weatherman. I could walk up there. Look at the corner. That corner of joy, okay? There's your thing. Listen, save 10% on your entire order. All you have to do is make that call. What's the promo code again? Woodward,
It's this
right?
one.
Just
10 meal.
go promo
10
code
meal.
10 meal, 10% on it.
Grab me
I'm
that
telling you-
pepperoni up there. That
you know
one.
what?
That
the,
one.
The curved pepperoni. The
Yeah,
pepperoni
the
on
curved
top is so key. But listen, you guys. Trust me when I say this. You would be. Try the thin crust. Get yourself 2 pizzas. Get the traditional, and then try the thin crust. It's got all the crunch of the classic right there. Save 10% on your entire meal. Promo code 10meal. Buddies, what more needs to be said? Go buy one.
Are you a real Detroit sports fan? Woodward Sports is here to give you all the Detroit sports you can handle. Weekdays, make sure you're locked in on Wake Up Woodward from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Followed by Big D Energy with Neil Rule and Darren McCarty from 11 a.m. to 1. Up next, you can't miss Ermanni and Edwards with Maz from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And finish the day out with the bad boys of Detroit sports media, the Woodward Heavyweights, from 5 to 7 p.m. Okay, wait, that isn't enough for you, you sports freak. Check out Woodward Wings, Woodward Ringside, and the Lions Weekly Update every Sunday with Broder, Terry Foster, and Sean Baligian. Subscribe on YouTube for all our great content, and make sure you're following on all social media. X, IG, Facebook, and TikTok. You want sports? We got you covered. Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in the clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasta salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com.
Well, you know that Woodward Sports likes to dangle these QR codes above my head, so why don't you go ahead and scan this one? That'll take you to the Feldman Chevrolet website, and oh boy, Feldman Chevrolet is Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer with 5 locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing, and this month's specials include a 2025 Silverado 1500 Crew for just $149 per month, Or you can do, I have the wrong ad up there, and that is all on me because it was a brand new ad. There you go, for $149 a month for the Silverado 1500 Crew. Or you could do the 2026 Chevy Equinox LT for just $209 a month. Scan that QR code above my head. Visit FeldmanChevrolet.com.
That's a great deal. $149, man.
$149, dude. Look at
See,
that.
I need it.
Yeah.
I need my trucks. That's beautiful.
That's huge.
You know, I'm a redneck. I do truck things in my truck.
Why not?
So, yeah, I need that, right?
Sean, I want to catch up on some super chats real quick here.
All right.
We are at 350, but I'm going to give you 60 seconds
Yes.
to get those triple chats,
Let's go
and
to
you
55.
got one more minute. Well, Pete will accept them until he accepts them.
Sure.
Let's touch back here with D Eagles 313. I am confused by that. Sounds like you're an Eagles fan, but you're repping the D. F Ben Johnson and the Bears. I couldn't agree
Thank
more.
you.
Jason Kenyon, he agrees with Sean when it comes to BJ and Chicago. Feel the same about KD signing with Golden State. As soon as he lost OKC going to the finals, it was nothing but anger. Middle-aged sneaker chick chiming in. Speaking of football, the Michigan Panthers are playing the DC Defenders for the UFL Championship on Saturday. They might be the first championship we've had here in, about 17, 18 years. Up for speculation, 6 wins are all we needed to win the North. I don't agree with that one, my friend. But he came back with another one. Can the Pistons win the Eastern Conference next season? With one key addition, they can. And Michael Wary, can we get 46 likes in 12 minutes, chat? Come on, guys. Smash that chat.
Come on,
Get us
smash
up
it,
to
baby.
100.
Do it,
and the
please.
final
Please.
chat, we're going to cut it off here. Where you been, Jason Kenyon? Welcome back, my friend. Back to movies. Classic Steve McQueen movie, Junior Bonner.
Yes.
I almost pronounced that wrong. Should get a remake. Great sports movie. That one
That's a
I
good
have
call.
never even heard of.
That's a good call. That's an old school one. I've seen it like once, half of the movie, like once.
Mess.
But that's a Steve
Couldn't
McQueen.
tell you.
Really?
Nope.
Wow.
That was
The king
before
of
my
cool.
time.
Rare. That is, before your time.
Yep.
The king of cool. You
Yes.
know what's funny?
Early
Yes.
60s, probably.
A few weeks ago, like one of those rainy days. Remember how it rained? It just seemed like it rained
72.
for. I made my kid watch The Great Escape, and he loved it.
Oh.
The rodeo movie.
1972,
The rodeo
Maz.
Yeah. movie.
Yeah, like
Rodeo.
I said, over my head.
But you knew about the movie?
It's the rodeo.
I never heard of it, but I know Steve McQueen, obviously.
Rodeo.
Well, and it is our rodeo guy bringing it up.
There you go.
yeah. Steve McQueen's great.
King of cool, man. Really was. Yeah, he was just. There was something about that dude. He's just a cool dude.
You know what I got hooked on last night? I'm flipping channels after the Tiger game. I go to HBO. What did I watch? I watched Duster, which is my new favorite show.
How is that?
I love it.
Okay.
It's great. Takes place in the 70s. Anything that takes place in the 70s.
Is it a
I'm
Plymouth
watching.
Duster?
Pardon?
Is it a Plymouth Duster?
Yeah, it's a Duster. Yep, a Plymouth
Love
Duster.
Plymouth Duster.
So I come on and it's the 80s. It's a documentary, but it's an hour and a half. It is so cool. I got through half of it before I started dozing off, so I'll finish it tonight. But man, the 80s, and they take you through the television era and all, and it was just fantastic stuff. I love going back in time.
Yep.
That was good stuff.
Love staying back in time, as a matter of fact. Living my 70s, 60s, 70s, and 80s bubble.
I got to go
No
back
doubt.
in time when I visited Maz's office. It's got some cool old school stuff in there.
Looking
Yes, he
forward
does.
to it, man. I'm looking forward to you checking out my baseball and football card collection.
No doubt. I had a lot of people.
I got to sell them, man. What am I holding on to them for?
What
am I holding on to?
5% of your collection is your PC or your personal
That is
collection.
correct.
The rest can go.
When my daughter went to Michigan State, I sold
Go
a
green.
few of my Wayne Gretzky OPG rookie cards.
No!
I did. It paid for a lot of my daughter's school, so I'll leave it at that.
You have
Oh,
any
no.
left?
I do.
Oh, no.
Thank
Oh,
goodness.
okay,
We
yeah,
got to get
there
them
you go.
graded.
Yes.
We got to get them
I can
graded.
do that. But
If they're in-
that's how we help pay for her
what
school.
did you
That's
get
what's
per?
up.
It was I know that there was one that was really good that we got $5,000 for.
What?
Jeez.
Which yes. it
Well,
was-
yeah. I mean, if he gets
Wow.
a PSA 8,
It
Wow.
was yeah.
a PSA 8 is going to be 5,000 plus.
And
You
it
get
was
a 10.
Wow.
there
Sean.
were I'm trying to remember because it was 2 years ago, but that was my plan all along With Jack, I didn't have to do it. With Lauren, it was like, all right, I'm gonna have to. So we did. I got rid of 5, and it was I think we got 11,000 total, but I know for one
That's
it was just
fabulous.
under $5,000.
Now, when did you acquire those and you're collecting?
So when I was a kid, my grandfather lived in Pointe Del Roche, Stony Point. So when we
bless
would
you.
go, thank you. But when we would go to the market, they were O-Pee-Chee. You got Topps cards in the United States.
And you would buy packs?
I would buy packs.
And you pulled that many.
Absolutely. And because I mean, again, if you're watching this show, you're a nerd, okay? I was one of those nerds. I had to complete every team.
Yes.
And I had the checklist, and I still have the checklist saved
Yes.
where you checked off the box, thus ruining the card in its entirety.
Of course.
But absolutely. So we checked that. That was 79.
You
The
know,
checklist I would put in my bicycle spokes.
Yeah.
know what?
Those were the ones that
it
went
made
in.
that wacky
and you know what's
noise.
wild?
What's that?
Clean checklists are highly valuable
they
for
are.
vintage
No
set-
shit,
because
really?
people put them in
That's
their
great.
spokes and people check the boxes.
I'm sorry.
People put them on the top or the bottom of their
Darn it.
stack and
Yeah.
wrapped a rubber band around it.
Yeah.
And nobody cared about them. If anything, people threw the checklist away. So there are not as many out there, and
Wow.
there are very few
Oh, you got me
as
about to
many
go back
in
to
good.
my car.
Yeah, very few that aren't checked.
Yeah,
That's
like
the thing.
the first year Fleer basketball, the Mecca from '86. I mean, you can get a lot of those cards for $5. The checklist is going to cost you $20-$30, not even in great condition.
What are my OJ rookies worth right now?
Still holding value. It's funny you say that because I may or may not have pulled the trigger on a card of that player for a certain guy who forces too many seconds into the hockey minute.
Bam.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Anytime I could put that smile
Hey.
on that man's
Who
face.
could that be?
Hey, the wheel is all yours, my friend.
Oh,
There it is.
No. It's all Sean's today. So,
Okay.
Sean,
I
we're going to
agree
bring the
with
wheel
that.
up.
All right.
With that beautiful man in the middle.
Look at that mouth.
You
Look at
let
that
Pete
mouth.
know when to hit spin.
Spin.
Here we go. Shout out to everybody in the Super Chat. Tomorrow is hands down the greatest Super Chat prize pack we've ever put together. There'll be some love from Fetty Felt. There will also be a dual signature of two legends, Joe Johnson
Here we go.
and George the Iceman Gervin. And it looks like OKC lost, but not Oklahoma. Oh no, it's going to the man who starts us off every E&E episode, my man Michael
Way to
Weary.
go, Michael.
Poor Jason.
This one's coming back to you again. It's coming back to you
Thank you,
again.
Sheila.
We do appreciate all of you guys. And again,
That
get
is
ready
awesome.
tomorrow. Cash those paychecks because tomorrow's prize pack is
Unreal.
going to be heady.
Jason Kenyon was all around that.
He was.
Look at that.
Well, when Jason Kenyon wins the next time, I am going to go home out of my personal J-Dub collection and pull you a rookie, my friend.
Whoa. You see? Look at that. That's some love.
Dude, that's huge.
Hey, Sean, give me a score tonight as we say goodbye. Give me a score for the hockey.
106 to 102.
Give me a score for the hockey game and Tarek Skubal against the Orioles.
4-2 Florida. And then Tarek Skubal, 7 innings, 2 hits.
And
How
the
about 8
Tigers,
strikeouts?
Tigers get a win?
Yes.
Nice.
Absolutely.
All
Two
right.
hits, huh?
Yeah. I mean, he's been on that tear. I mean, like normally you feel like a slap. I'm not going to say the word.
Slappy.
I already got 3. And
Slappy.
slappy. So, no, he's been on that kind of tear where I don't feel like a slap B. And my car didn't get towed.
Switch the D with a P.
Yes, slap
P.
B. Can I pack a dip now? Is it? Are we allowed to go?
Just
Yes,
a moment
we're allowed
here,
to
my
go.
friend.
All right, see you guys. Bye.
Hey, thanks, Sean.